Hello, this is Courtney with Sue Clark Creative. Thanks for stopping by for day 8 of my 12 Days of Cardmaking Series, Merry 2 Ways. Starting with some ink blending, I have the Honeybee Mini Pines stencil, my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, and I am using Distress Oxides and mini blending tools today. Mowed Lawn and Pine Needles are my greens today. I start with the Mowed Lawn and then overlay with the Pine Needles. Using two colors like this just brings a bit more dimension to your stenciling. It doesn't have to be very noticeable that you're using two colors, but it does add a little oomph to the stenciling overall. It does not have to be super blended, just get some on there, mix the colors, and we're good. For the second card panel, I'm using Festive Berries and Black Soot, and I'm not using a stencil, just doing the whole panel. So I just do the ink blending directly on my craft mat. Lay down that Festive Berries first, and then I go over with that Black Soot. And essentially what that does is it gives me a little bit more of a Victorian red. Little dirty, little more aged look. So I just use circular motions, get the color on there, and then I bring in the black. And I don't add a lot of color when I do this. I just kind of use a little bit if I need to aid in the blending between these colors a little bit. But a lot of times I'm just moving that color around with the tool and helping things blend together a little bit. So I'm using the Catherine Pooler Merry Mini Cover Plate die, just kind of for this red and black panel, just making sure it's mostly in the center. It does not need to be exact, so I'm just using my centering ruler just to make sure it's about where it needs to be, because I am going to use the outline, the negative space of this cut in the finished card. So I'm using that cover plate to cut that out, saving the letters. You can see my very well loved die cutting plate there. So I pull out the letters of both these cards. Now I'm going to be using the plate of the trees and the letters of the trees and the letters of the red and black panel, but I'm not using the plate for a card specifically, but I am using it as a template. So I have placed it over some Gina K Cherry Red cardstock and using it to position the Merry onto that red cardstock. So I apply some Distress Collage medium, place those letters in their corresponding spots, let them dry just a little bit, and then gently pull that template, essentially is what I'm using it for, off, leaving the letters on that bright red cardstock. This is a fantastic way to get perfect alignment when you're using letters like this that are, or any intricate part, when you're not using the outside piece. For the tree panel, I am going to use the panel and the letters. So I'm just taking some double-sided adhesive, place 3 strips to essentially cover most of the back of this panel, going right over the gaps of those letters. I'm going to be putting this card panel on the plate panel on top of that black card panel. I'm a little bit off screen here. I apologize for that. But then what that does is, you see as I put this card panel down, you will be able to see those adhesive strips shining through. So when I place the letters, they're held by that bit of adhesive through there. So this is a very quick and easy way to get these placed, and that double-sided adhesive is strong, so these letters will not be going anywhere. Now this Mary mini cover plate die does come with an outline frame or an edge frame that I do use. Right here I'm just using a brush to brush off a bit of those little papery bits that end up on the end of your die cuts once it's glued down. It makes it very easy to brush those off. But then I place this outline edge and I do die cut both of these panels, trim them down essentially. So now I'm just putting these together. I have some classic Crest Neenah 110-pound cardstock. Here comes in that edge that I told you would be using later. Just use some Distress Collage medium to put that down. Essentially, that's my bottom layer. It doesn't matter that there's a big hole in it because the panel I'm putting above it covers that panel up. A little bit more adhesive glue. And then what this does is the letters and that bottom panel match together, helps tie everything together for this card. So this first card is done. The second card is even simpler, just the one layer red panel on that white card base, and that's all that that card needs. That's what's great about these cover plates is minimal products get you multiple cards. You can use all the pieces together, just the letters, just the panel parts. I could even get a third card easily with that leftover Mary panel that I haven't used yet. Maybe I'll do that later. I don't know. Hope you enjoy these two cards. Quite a bit different look, even though they're very similar. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.